Are you extra fired up to go against your old team?
Oh, yes, no, definitely. Anytime you can go back to a place you spent 4 years of your life, play against a bunch of your friends, old teammates, and it's exciting, go back and see all those guys and have such a good matchup going here with 2-8-3 teams. And then, with Derrick, everybody knows what Derrick is. Anytime you got a 6'3", 250-pound guy that runs a 4.4, that's going to be a very special back and a hard guy to stop.
Thank you, Jeff. Now we'll go to Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Jack. On Monday, Wyatt Teller told us with, kind of smiling about it that, this is Jack's revenge game. But do you get a sense that, guys are fired up for you? Is it something guys are talking about?
Wyatt gets a little excited, but no, it's fun every week. Every week somebody has some attachment to another team, and it's just for me, it's fun. Like I said, I spent the last 4 years there. I had a great time. I have a lot of friends, a lot of great memories, and it's fun to go back and like I said, to have a great matchup, have a matchup that means something for both teams going down the stretch, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thanks, Nate. Dan Lobby, you have our next question.
Hey, Jack, I wanted to ask you about Arthur Smith because he's sort of seems like he's on the same path or similar path as Kevin Stefanski, and they're about the same age. Do you see similarities in them as play callers?
Yeah, I definitely can see a lot. Arthur, we run the same offense, obviously, and he does a great job of creating matchups and getting the offense in a good position. Art's a great guy. I can't say enough good stuff about him, and he's doing a great job down there, and he's going to have a lot of success in this league for years to come.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dan. George Thomas, you have our next question.
Hey, Jack, I was just wondering, if you tell your teammates on the other side of the ball how to stop Derrick Henry, what would it be? What's the key to stopping that guy or even slowing him down?
I got to gang tackle him. It's a handful. It's going to be a battle all Sunday, and but we have a lot of good guys, run backs on our side too. They've had a lot of practice taking down. Obviously he's great and he's going to be a handful and he's a great player. And but our defense is up to the task, and they're going to do a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. Scott Petrick, we'll go to you.
Hey, Jack, how would you kind of compare and contrast Nick's style to Derrick's style?
It's hard to compare them. They're two very different backs. Derrick's, he's special because he's so big and he's 6'3", 250. And runs 4.4 like I said earlier. That's just a giant. That's a different one. In his own respect, he's just a different body build. Another extremely special back. They're both guys that are very good at reading the holes and setting up blocks, and I think the biggest thing that you can put both of them together is they're both great at breaking tackles, and you see that stat, the yards after contact. Both of them are really excel at that.
Thanks, Scott. Zach Jackson, you're up.
Jack, you guys seem to really be playing well as a group, so I just wanted to ask you about the group. Obviously you guys don't spend that much time together as you normally would, but what do you like about your new teammates, and why do you think you guys have been able in only 7 full games together to play as well as you have?
I think it's just buying in. We got a bunch of guys that are, we're excited to learn, and with Coach Callahan coming in and Coach Stefanski coming in, we have a bunch of smart guys that really wanted to work and buy in, and I think we have a bunch of personalities that all get along together, and we're able to talk about the hard stuff. If somebody messes up, where there's no hard feelings when somebody calls them out and helps them get better, and each week, I think we just strive to get a little better, and we take pride in what we're doing out there. The whole line takes pride in that, and we got guys that can come off the bench and do a great job too to fill in, that we don't really miss a beat, and you don't get that very often in the NFL, and hopefully we can keep this going, and I'm excited to see what we can keep on doing.
Thank you, Zach. Tony Grossi, go ahead.
Hey, Jack. Last year at this time, the Titans were 6-5. I'm wondering, did you guys know you were as good as you ended up being, and how does that compare to where the Browns are right now?
We knew we could be definitely at that time. I think it all comes down to. I think I read something that Coach Stefanski said earlier. It all comes down to playing your best ball in December, and you're going to have a lot of stuff that you mess up on or not play your best games early on in the season. But really, when it comes down to December, is really when the great teams start to prove themselves. and when you can take advantage of small things in the games to get yourselves the lead and the wins, it's really what makes a difference here when it comes down to December. And I think a lot of it comes down to the run game, and I think that really plays into what we do so well, and as well as Tennessee. When you get in December, we've had it all November, but the weather, you're not going to be able to do a lot of passing sometimes, and it's going to be cold, it's going to be rain, and the teams that really can rely on the run game, able to set the standard and tire other teams out, are going to be the ones that really are victorious in December and January.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Tony. Marla Ridenour, you have our next question.
Yeah, Jack, I have to ask this because Coach Vrabel's from around here. Just could you tell, was that game last year big for him because he was coming home or anything? And just what stood out to you about him? Was it his intensity or what captured him?
I mean, I think that sort of goes with it. Frabes he's a fiery guy. I mean, that was the first game of the year last year, and he was all fired up. It's hard to tell which game he's more fired up about throughout the year, because every week he's rearing to go, and he's just out of control. You would think he's drank coffee all day, and just you never see him slow down. And that's what makes him such a great coach, is just his competitiveness and just the amount of energy he puts into every day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marla. We'll take 3 more questions. Mary Kay Cabot, Nate Ulrich, Scott Petrick. Mary Kay, you're up.
Yeah, Jack, just wondering, since last year, I mean, the Titans had you at right tackle, Taylor Lewan at left tackle. They don't have either of you guys right now. That's a lot of talent for them not to have on the offensive line. So, and I thought I heard that they were down to maybe their 3rd string left tackle possibly heading into this game. So how are they doing on the offensive line kind of without you guys? And, is that the kind of thing that Myles Garrett is going to try to be looking to exploit?
I think Derrick is still the leading rusher in the NFL. So, I mean, they're still doing well, without me and Taylor. And it's actually a pretty cool story. They're starting left tackle from last week. I don't know if you saw David Quisenberry. He actually had cancer in 2013 and beat it and came back. And this was his first start since beating cancer. He's an awesome guy and an awesome worker and a great teammate. And it was awesome to be able to see him out there starting, having that first start since beating cancer. And, throughout this season, it's sort of been up and downs every week, between COVID and injuries, and it's, you get people thrown in it all over the place. So I think that's sort of been the landscape of this year is, yeah, you got to exploit teams when they're down guys, and you got to take advantage of things. But you also are getting a lot more guys with experience and guys that are getting more game time. So I think it's been something that's creating a lot more depth throughout the NFL. And it's definitely something that's going to play a key role down the stretch here, and just having guys, staying smart and trying not to get COVID when they can, and trying to stay healthy and be at full strength. All these, we want our team to be at full strength throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Nate Ulrich, you're up.
Hey, Jack, I know we asked you a lot about Jedrick Wills coming in and the transition he would have to make. And, you had made a transition coming into the NFL, flipping spots on the line. So just what has impressed you about him, his rookie season, and what do you think's allowed him to do what he's been able to do?
Yeah, it's a hard transition moving from, right to left or left to right, vice versa. But, it's been impressive to see Jed just keep on working. There's been tough days, going all the way back to camp. There was a lot of learning curve, and it's been impressive just to see how he goes about work every day. And every day he's trying to get a little bit better, and you can really see it paying off. I mean, each game he's adding something to his game, and he's getting more confident. And I think really the biggest thing for a rookie year is really gaining that confidence, and you just see him. You've seen him growing all year, and I'm excited to see the player he's becoming and how much more he can do. He's got the right attitude and the right work ethic to be a great player in this league for a long time.
Thank you, Nate. Our last question of the day goes to Scott Petrick.
Hey, Jack, when we were talking to Nick just before you, he said he loves playing with you and you're an amazing person. So I'm curious, how well have you gotten to know Nick, especially for a guy that doesn't seem to say a whole lot?
That's what I was going to say. I mean, it's hard to beat as good a person as Nick, but I don't know. It's just every day I just try to mess with him a little bit, try to get a few more words out of him and get a smile out of him. And he's just a fun guy to mess with a little bit, just because he's so positive and he is quiet, like you said. And I'm just happy to be on his team and be a part of what a special player he is, and be able to help him and really learn more about him as a person too every day.
Do you have any tricks to getting him to open up?
I mean, I try to talk about Batman. That usually gets him going. He likes the superheroes, so I try to bring some of that stuff up, and that usually gets a smile or some sort of grunt or something.
And, you know, I mean, you talked about wanting to win him a rushing title, and that's probably not going to happen with the time that he missed with the injury. But have you ever talked to him or noticed kind of how the disappointment in not getting it last year and you guys kind of taking it away from him in week 17?
No, we haven't really talked about it. I mean, like you said, it's hard to get too much out of him, but no, he's a competitive guy. You know, he's a guy that wants to be the best, and he works like he's one of the hardest workers I've ever seen, and just how powerful he is and everything. And he takes everything in stride, but he's not a vain guy, you know, in the way about how he goes his work. You know, he wants to be the best, but he's not going to go talk about it and talk about his stats or anything like that. He's the exact teammate you'd want on any team and the type of person you'd want to be around every day.